While games releasing cross-generation isn't the strangest occurrence, Sony's approach to creating games for Lilo and Stitch was fairly unique. The PlayStation 2 would get a prequel titled Experiment 626, while those still using their PlayStation 1s in 2002 would get their own game called Trouble in Paradise, helmed by Blitz Games. It's quite a novelty, seeing a then older generation console getting an individual movie tie-in crafted for it, rather than a scaled-back version of the younger brother console. Sadly, this Crash Bandicoot clone would prove an easy skip. Uneasy controls which made latter levels more difficult than needed, a heinous presentation, and very little longevity ensure it doesn't come close to matching the highs of Disney fare from generations before, during, and after this one. A butchered retelling of the 2002 film that sees an alien creature try to fit in with a Hawaiian community, Trouble in Paradise coats 16 levels with basic reenactments of the story, as clips are spliced between stages without much care. For example, before a chase sequence with Jumba, the cutscene prior shows a different setting, aesthetic, and context to the level you're about to play, leaving you more confused than engaged. While getting to see parts of the film is usually a plus, and you can freely replay them in the menu, most will find it adds little to the cinematic component. Fans of the film may still get a kick out of seeing these, and collectible movie stills might prove enticing.
That's it, Stitch. Lead by example. Elvis Presley is a model citizen. If you listen to his records, that might help you understand. Come on, we can play them at the hotel afterwards.
You can quickly see the inspiration behind this one. A 3D platformer which takes place on narrower paths as you jump over hazards, combat enemies which block the path, and collect key items along the way. Sometimes, stages turn the camera into a 2.5D affair, and certain segments see you being chased by an instant fail foe which you must outrun while anticipating hazards out of view in front. Encounters with certain boss-style characters see you outrunning a bully on a bike, and a couple of the aliens looking to capture Stitch. A first glance paints this one as inoffensive, if generic, with stages that feel uninteresting and lack the dynamism of Crash, and even the opening stage bears an uncanny resemblance to previous levels from Naughty Dog's mascot platformer. But it doesn't cause you to rip your hair out too much, and in fact proves quite an easy run. Things start to go downhill though, once more challenge is gradually added. This exposes the big issue with Trouble in Paradise. Both characters suffer from stiff and sometimes unresponsive controls. You end up playing as both protagonists, and while Stitch isn't exactly fluid in his movements, Lilo feels even worse, with a poor attack that often misses enemies despite close proximity, and unreliable jumps make normal obstacles feel perilous in a bad way. The first chase sequence, which sees you outrunning a giant alien, is an exercise in frustration, as pitfalls kill you instantly, and inputs don't feel responsive enough to allow quick reactions to slowly appearing hazards. Jumba's chase is even worse, with sluggish controls combining with his deadly ray gun, making for a huge headache. As trickier jumps and more dangerous foes, including laser-accurate hazard suit aliens, are added, the controls completely fail under the strain, and you'll see yourself dropping countless lives over these issues, which proves immensely irritating. Somehow, this game is as boring as it is frustrating. Luckily, you can clear this game very quickly. A couple of sittings should suffice, or around 5 hours if I'm being generous. For some strange reason, each stage is blocked off by a repetitive fight with an elemental golem, all of which use the same attack pattern and see you dodging while aiming to attack their back. It's clearly an arbitrary way of extending the experience. While collecting 4 key items in each stage is mandatory, 100 smaller items can also be found for no tangible reward other than an extra life. Each stage also contains a time trial, but they are all limited to a 4-minute timer. This sounds hard, but most stages can be cleared in around 2 minutes, and without any prize like relics to earn from better runs, they are pointless. As mentioned, film clapperboards can be found to unlock stills in the menu, but these will fail to entice any but the most dedicated fans of the film. Despite releasing late in the PlayStation 1's lifecycle, Blitz would produce one ugly looking game. Levels look painfully bland, textured with some low-res details and poor variation between areas. Models, even the main characters, are woefully lacking in flair or intricate geometry, highlighted awkwardly during unflattering in-engine cutscenes. Frame rate stutters are an issue sometimes, though it doesn't affect gameplay much. When Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, a game from 4 years prior, looks far better, you know something has gone horribly wrong. The sound isn't much to write home about either, with a moderately engaging soundtrack that is often buried under poor sound mixing, sparse voice work that is consistently poor, and effects which sound tinned. Lilo and Stitch: Trouble in Paradise is a poor affair, a generic platformer sunk further by stiff controls, awful visuals, and a lack of content. Don't let the late release fool you, as a myriad of platformers from years prior, including the series Blitz shamefully aped, are far more compelling than this rushed exercise in mediocrity. Fans of the film may get a kick out of the extras, but anyone looking for a Disney platformer that's on the level of Tarzan or Toy Story 2 will be woefully disappointed.